Has anybody played more 2 games?
Oh, me.
Right. So I take it your other games with the school?
Yes.
And what's that? Then midweek or Friday you're playing Tim? I know Friday and Saturday. Are you Wednesday, Saturday? So basically it's two matches. Anybody play 3 matches in the 1 week? 3?
Yeah, we play 2 in 1 day for school.
And how long's that?
Half an hour. Yeah, half an hour.
Half hour, so like 2 minutes go by, right?
When you went up, you played about an hour football straight, like 3 games.
Because on serious note, I do want you to make sure you're writing down this in your weekly chart, because the training, if it's monitored, if it's technically based, which we are doing at all our centres, it's fine, you can do it, the cows come home. What the damage does is matches. I get nervous if anybody's playing more than 2 matches a week.
I get a penalty.
I play 1.
Because I've got a scenario that I know that Tim's got a game for the counties on Sunday. And I've got a scenario that I've got a problem because are you playing for school tomorrow?
Yeah.
So I have a problem with that because he plays for school on Friday. He's got a match for me on Saturday, and he's got Sunday with the counties. So me and Tim might have a wee word tonight, a discussion tonight, just maybe with Dad as well, just to see what we think, because I think only maybe a half tomorrow with school, if that's possible.
Yeah, because he usually breaks me on a half time.
Yeah, so if we get that clarified, maybe then we might look Tim then as well Saturday, because we want to make sure you're fit as well and fresh. So it's something that we need to monitor and be sensible about, and that's why I want this all going down in this book. Okay? So, when you're all done?
Yep. No. I'm trying to manage.
Good. Okay, boys, following the series. 2 weeks ago we had Luke Fisher down with us. Today we've got Matthew Henry. Like Luke, is Northern Ireland International, under 16. He played most recently there just last Thursday. So while we were out training, he was playing up Colin Showgrounds against Scotland in the Victory Shield. That was televised on Sky Sports 2. Which is great. And like Luke, he's born 98, you guys are 2002, so again, it's been 4 years of a difference here. So it's great that Matthew's taken time out of his busy schedule to come down and share his experiences with us. So, first of all, hey, it's good to have you down. Brilliant. Yeah, very fond of Matthew because he's developed really well. Enjoyed the pleasure of working with you for about 3 years maybe? About 3 years or so, we've had the pleasure of working together. And we're going to do sort of a game, we're going to go right the way back when he first started playing football. And his first experiences, he's from Larne. Okay, don't hold that against him. So, Matthew, if you want to take just a couple of minutes just to say, how did you get, first of all, involved in football and what your first experiences was?
It was just like a wee Saturday morning thing. He went down and tried to keep trying to play a match with each other, and then down and played that. And then just the coach of a Larne youth team saw me and he just asked me to play for Larne youth, and I was like, yeah.
Good. So it would have been like the many soccer games that would have been what, maybe 7-a-side, something like that was it you started off on? And it was just games and sort of basic skills and stuff?
Yeah, just games, no coaching.
Right, just let you out and play. And I mean it's something that's actually pretty in the media. I don't know whether any of you boys had seen Gary Lineker's piece that he's done quite recently about saying how parents are destroying youth football because of the behaviour on the touchline. Luckily not our parents, your parents are all good, most of them. It's a joke. So he was talking about that in some places it gets really, really bad. So I mean, your experience of playing in this, was it fun? Was it relaxed atmosphere?
Yeah, it was fun and relaxed. It was just no parents here and shouting at you. Just do what you want to.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And that would have been for Larne Youth then, so 7-a-side, and that would have been obviously small pitches, small goals and stuff. When did you progress? What age would you have been then when you went into their 11-a-side team?
I was 7, but only one as a sub.
Right.
20 minutes. That was my first match I ever played.
So that's quite interesting. 7. So
I was playing under 11, so
yeah, it's so I mean you're playing a good few years up. And how did you find that then coming in? You're playing on a full size pitch at 7.
Yeah.
So big goals. Obviously the kids maybe then being 3 years older than you at least. Under 11. So was that daunting, or how did you find that, or?
I remember somebody stood on my toe and started crying in the middle of the pitch. And then my dad's sort of shouting at me, he's like, what are you doing? Keep going, keep going. This is from the lobby, I didn't know what to do.
Was that 7 or was that against Scotland?
Oh, 7.
So 7. So that's amazing. So you would obviously then probably play 3 years. You probably would have had with that age group then playing 11 sides. You say just maybe a wee 20 minutes at the end of games. Was it as enjoyable as what the mini soccer was?
No, it's a lot more hard,
Yeah.
more serious.
So all of a sudden, because there's maybe 3 points at stake,
Yep.
the coaches, and touching, so it gets a wee bit more serious. And was there many of that dinner, or were you just sort of the one-off that you sort of stood out quite well at that age? And
There was me and there was 2 other boys managed. There was John McManus, he now plays for Albert Blanket, and then there's another guy called Gaggs, he didn't play football anymore, he plays game football.
Right. And then she progressed right through, so probably then, say probably the third year, then that would have been you actually playing at that age group, at probably that right age then after that. So what do you think, was it a breeze then, because obviously you'd already experienced it for 2-3 years?
Yeah, well, it was a lot easier because there's a lot more not players moved to Larne Youth from Bank Wolves, so we had like a better team, better players, and we're doing well in the league and stuff.
Yeah.
We came from second the first season and won the next.
That's great. And in terms of just to give these guys an idea of behind it, how often did you train during the week?
Only twice, Monday and Wednesday.
Monday and Wednesday, and that would have been about 1 hour each
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half, okay, good. And that's plenty of ball work, or what did you tend to work on in
It
training?
was mostly ball work, yeah, passing drills and passing, shooting, stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. So you would have stayed at Larne then, and probably then fast forward to, you been 12 when you first came to us? 13. And I remember it's actually quite a funny story because they travelled down from Larne for the first session with TW Academy, and we were training at Cherryville, and travelled all that way, and we started the session, and the next thing that was called off.
Yep.
Yeah, memory serves me right. Pitches were frozen, so that was the first time we met. And there was yourself and obviously your younger brother Nathan. And then that started you then coming every Sunday then to get additional training. That stage you were still at Larne Youth, weren't you?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And it meant that you were doing your training on Monday, a Wednesday, you played your game on a Saturday, and then you came down and got the extra training with ourselves. Coming down, what was nice about it was a mixture of boys that we had. So we had obviously these guys come from Larne, I think we had Lurgan, Bangor, all sides of Belfast. But like, how you guys are made up, we're all coming from all different parts of the country, and all different clubs, all different backgrounds. It was quite nice because it was a good standard. How did you find that standard then compared to your Larne team?
It was a lot better. It's like, your sessions were like a lot more focused on your skills and control, rather than all that, and the skills and the dribbling and stuff like that there. Stuff was more good than that.
Yeah. And in terms of the intensity and stuff, was there much difference in it, or?
Yeah, it was a lot faster than training at Larne.
And we noticed that it's quite nice because, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you were a wee bit quieter when you first arrived and maybe just didn't have the same confidence then possibly of what you went on to now. Did the extra training then just build you up within more?
Yeah, maybe with better players, playing better on Saturdays, then confident, get more confidence in the way, because it was the way I was performing in matches, then just get more and more confident as I progress as a player.
Great. And the experiences we had at the academy with TW, we played different just challenge games and stuff, especially leading up to when we went away on tours. And the tour then that you enjoyed was the one over to London, when we played against Fulham. So I'm going to give Matthew maybe 2 minutes just to review his experience, because you heard what Luke's thoughts were on it when we played the North Kent Academy, and then on the Saturday, I think it was, we played against Fulham. And we also had the enjoyment of being able to go down and see a game, championship game, I think with Reading and stuff. So I'm going to just give Matthew maybe 2 minutes to explain just everything about the trip, from maybe just as a squad travelling in the airplane, right through to the matches and stuff that he found in.
It was my first time going away with a team away, and then it was good, cracking on, or talking and messing about and all on the way over.
Not too much.
Then we got there and we played Kent on the Friday. Was it Friday night?
Friday, yeah.
On the Friday night, and didn't do too bad against.
Yeah, my marriage was 1-1, I think, was it?
Yeah.
Some 1 or 2-2, I think it was a draw.
It's a pretty even match, and then I just remember there's a big step up against Fulham on Saturday because they're a lot more physical. We were scoring a lot. There's a big difference between boys club and a Premiership academy there. I just remember like how physical we were. Like I've never seen that before. Boys being that physical. Then I noticed as well because I've been away since that. Like a lot of things seem to be like that, a lot more physical than us over here.
Yeah, which sometimes might come as a surprise to some, because some people might think, oh, because we start so early at 11 aside, our leagues are quite physical, but it was, I think, what caught us on our. I mean, we against Fulham we played 3 periods. It wasn't the case of just 2 halves. It was 3 different. That was 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. I think that's what we did, or 25. And first period, as Matthew says, was a real pretty culture shock, because we did have a mix of age group. Matthew would have been probably one of the oldest ones. And we had a couple of ones that were 89, and Matthew's young brother Nathan, who was a 2000. I think was maybe one of the youngest ones that we had away that time. And against Fulham, that first 20 minutes, I think, just the intensity, just how they moved the ball, and just Matthew out the physical side of it as well. When we say physical, we don't mean that they were coming in with elbows and stuff. We just mean they were just really, they were powerful.
Yeah, they were.
They moved the ball really quick. And they're moving off the ball as well. And I think it just was that 20 minutes, I think, was a real culture shock to us.
Yeah. The way they played about it and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was always off. So short passing, moving, across the room.
Yeah. And I mean, again, as we have experienced as well, sometimes you can maybe have a poor first half, but it's always how do you respond. And we had a talk, one of the breaks, and I mean, my style is used. Hopefully, I've realised now it's not all shouting and losing the head and stuff. It's just bring people in, talk, focus, and re-encourage them and say, hey, we were a lot better. And the second and third period, we did terrifically well against Fulham, which even extended the compliment of their coach. Then as a different team that came out the other half. So, just like everybody just settled down and relaxed and played the way they can do.
Everybody's probably shocked because they're playing Fulham. So they're standing up and giving them too much respect and stuff, and then second, third half is when I sort of getting them to start playing a bit like football and stuff. And just getting straight back in.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I mean, after that, then we then enjoyed the game down with Reading, which at that stage they were a championship club. That was actually the year they won the championship, and I mean, we couldn't have asked for better seats. I think we were like second row back behind one of the goals. Yeah.
They missed 3 penalties.
That's I was going to say. It was such a funny game. There was 3 penalties in the one game. Long they were missed, weren't it? Foster was the old United keeper, and he saved maybe 2 of them. Funny if we bumped into him after the game, didn't we? Yeah. So it was a nice experience because you're away. And most daddies came, a couple that didn't, and it was a really good experience and something that we want to extend to you guys, which we will in March when we go to West Brom and get sort of that academy experience. To go and get the training session and game, and obviously taking a Premier League game as well, which is great. And that probably was a nice wee introduction to you, because after that things progressed quite well for you. Then you joined Dungoyne. You joined them probably the last season in South Belfast when they won, or was that National League? Did you start?
I joined them in their first season in National League.
Yeah. So Dungoyne, as you heard from Luke 2 weeks ago, they'd won the South Belfast League, they'd won the NIBFA. They then went into the National League, and that was then when Matthew joined in, and that party up because you were maybe doing a wee bit more training with them and stuff, and it combined quite nicely because a lot of your teammates were coming down to the academy as well on Sunday. So the first season then you had it Dungoyne in the A division then. How did that would have been under what age group were you then?
14.
Under 14. And as the season progressed, there was other opportunities that then came up then within that with maybe county structure and stuff.
Yeah, and then I got into the county that year as a second back. Even was playing second field for Dungoyne.
And how did you find that? I suppose is it good, playing in 2 different positions or what? Or I mean, obviously, I think your preferred position was more in the midfield at that stage.
Yeah, I didn't like centre back.
Yeah.
So I didn't really mind playing it back for the county because you get a lot of good coaching, like county coaching and all.
Yeah. So, and that would have stepped up a game as you really done 2 sessions a week with Dungoyne. The 1 session with me, and then you had the counties in on top of that. So that was sort of get you up to maybe doing 4 sessions a week. Which this is something that we always try and say to our boys as well. The more sessions we can do, and the more you can have the ball at your feet, well then obviously technically you're going to become a better player. Yeah. And then from the counties then that then progressed because you then had an opportunity to travel as well with the international setup.
Yeah, we went to Man City and we beat 3-1. But that wasn't a bad result because we were playing an older Man City side as well. But yeah, that was a big shock as well because they're a lot more bigger and physical and slightly around the ball as well.
Yeah.
Similar style as Fulham as well.
And I mean, it must be great because the facilities that you get to see. I mean, how were the facilities? The city was it there? Was it Carrington? Was it their training ground, or where did you play the game?
We played at was it some school pitches just?
Right, right.
So it wasn't a big training ground.
Yeah. And then moving on as well, which was nice because you went then came involved in the international setup, and you had trips to Turkey.
Yeah, Turkey. Went to Turkey for 2 weeks. Just really training camp. We played 2 matches. We played the Russian side, beat them 2-1, I think. And we played some, like, supposed to be a local side, but like they turned up in the like under 19s, like men had beards on. Played them and beat them 2-1 as well, I think.
Great. And that's pretty, the first one that might have been quite surreal, because that would have been the first time that you were away from mum and dad.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it. Didn't really miss that much.
Isn't that awful? Mum and Daddy could be watching us. I didn't miss them that much, yeah.
The rang at me as well, because I didn't text them, like, you know, letting them know I was there and okay, and I was doing okay, so.
Yeah.
They rang at me a bit for that.
And I mean, this is nice because we talked about this with Luke. You know, how did it feel about going away and being away from parents and stuff. And I mean, 2 weeks away, enjoying himself, training twice a day.
Yeah, every day, twice a day.
You know, training twice a day, playing games. The weather maybe be better over there than here, and facilities top drawer. And this is the perfect thing because I mean it's 2 of my favourite things to do is playing football and coaching football and travel, and it just must be perfect to do that together and obviously represent your country.
Yeah.
And from Turkey then, where else have you travelled to then with football?
Belgium is next time away, and we played Belgium twice and we beat 2-0 and beat them 1-0. Which is, I suppose it was all away, beating them 1-0.
Yeah. I mean, because the Belgian football is nice flame. If I was to turn around here and ask you boys what Belgian players can you name?
Benteke.
Witzel.
And somebody got fuzzy hair.
Witzel.
I mean, what Belgium are doing for such a small nation it's phenomenal. I mean, the players that they're producing, young, and there'll be others as well. I mean, these are some of the famous ones you name that's playing on the top flight. I mean, it's terrific. Like, so obviously, you know, when you go there, when you see the different cultures, you know, I mean, when you went to Turkey, then when you go to Belgium, I mean, what sort of culture came across to you then with the Belgian players?
Way they play.
Yeah, what way they play, yeah.
Well, the Russian ones we played in Turkey, they were a lot more sort of English-style football, getting long balls and trying to get the big centre forward. And the Turkish side we played, it was like, they're moving the ball out wide more. So they were playing football, they're just hitting the wings, trying to get their wingers on the ball. And we played Belgium, they were just trying to move the ball about and play football with it. But they're quite strong in set pieces as well.
Yeah.
I didn't think we got good set pieces, but they scored a header against us twice then.
And the physical and all, or?
Yeah, we were physical.
Yeah. It's always something I remember from the trips we've had to Holland, like, you know, PSV, where Eindhoven is, it's quite close to the Belgian border, and they like the Belgian players because they think, they're quite physical and they're quite strong, you know, so obviously the Dutch are very technically minded and they're already good in the ball, but they love mixing the Belgian players because they think that they're that wee bit more physically stronger, you know, so they like mixing that together, you know, which is interesting. And then the other, Finland, you went to as well?
Yeah, Finland, we drew to each and beat them 1-0.
And did you notice any difference from their style of play?
I don't think they were good.
Are you not? No?
I don't think they were very good.
Were they long ball or did they try and pass or technically just not strong?
They sort of mixed up. They played football but tried to hit their big striker as well, and they tried to hit and then play football off him. And then like a sort of number 10 that played in the hole, East Hammerot.
Yeah.
Sort of playmaker.
Yeah. Great, and then so this was all sort of came up probably quite fast. You know, it was very much regular. You know, I mean, it doesn't seem that long ago the first time that I met Matthew, Nathan, and his family, and in that space of probably 2 years, this just all happened. Like it just. Yeah. So I mean, it just goes to show you, you know, if you put the additional work in, you know, you'd be rewarded for it as well. And it's great to see, you know, how confident Matthew is sitting here and talking quite freely with you. Like Luke always talk about this, always say about it, I always repeat myself saying about how important it is to to be confident, eye contact when you're talking, and talking quite confidently and stuff with everybody, and just speaking to everybody in the room, which is what Matthew's doing here. After these experiences that you had, it's great for that he's sharing with you the different cultures as well, isn't it, Millsy? In terms of what he finds, just with the Turkish and the Russian team that he played there, and then maybe the Finland team and Belgium and stuff. After that, then obviously, then you start picking the squad. Well, you didn't start picking it, but for the Victory Shield, that was the next big thing that they were planning for. You know, really proud that you were involved in that. You were selected for the Victory Shield, and the lead up to that, maybe just give us some details of what was going on. Did the coaches talk to you much, or what sort of squad was it? Did they have to get the squad size down, and the preparations in the lead up to that?
After we did re-trialing, so we didn't really know what team was which. If you're in the starting team or what, so we did trials after every single time we went away. Then for the Shield we did trials, and still didn't know if you're in the squad or not, because he left it right up till the last minute, so about a week before the Shield, till he named the squad. So I didn't know if it was in or not, so just 1 week before the Shield. But we were training and all. That's about 22 players, then he selected 19, so he cut 3 anyways.
Yeah. And in the lead up to that, it's quite interesting, because at the minute you're unattached, you're not signed, registered for any club, because when you're in this Victory Shield, the sort of ask you not to play for a team. Is that have I got that right? You know,
you're not allowed to play for a team.
So you're not allowed to play for a team at the minute, so at the minute Matthew's unattached, so as anybody's watching this, 1998 centre midfielder, open the offers, but yeah, so it must be quite strange, because obviously you're coming from the age of 7, you're used to turning out every Saturday morning playing, training, and all of a sudden that's a complete change, so basically it's probably just that longer spell between each game. So in the lead up to the first game, we'll focus more on the Scottish game in a wee minute, but just leading up to that Scotland game, what was sort of your timetable then? How many times were you training with them each week?
Training on Wednesday and just a Saturday and Sunday, so it's only 3 sessions a week, but it was all day Saturday and all day Sunday.
Right.
So it was.
And in terms of in those training sessions, was there a set? Was it ball work? Was there conditioning work? Was there gym work?
On a Wednesday would have been ball work, Saturday would have been conditioning in the morning, and then do an afternoon football session, and Sunday just off football.
Yeah, good. And leading up then to Scotland, so for the boys, well, we would have been training last week, but we obviously talked about this with Sky Plus it. It was from Ballymena Showgrounds. The Sky cameras were there. It's live on Sky. What was the most? Did you feel any more pressure leading up that game that was going to be on TV?
Yeah, I felt a lot more nervous on TV, because if you make a mistake, everyone's going to see it.
Yeah. And in the lead up to that, was there any, in terms of preparation for that? Then how was that all done? You're going Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Did you just go to the ground, or were you together as a squad beforehand, or?
The Monday before it, we trained at the showgrounds that night. Went over patterns of play, how we want to play, set pieces. Then the Wednesday, we all came together as a squad, and we stayed at a hotel together. So their man suggests he's able to manage what you're eating, what you're drinking, all their stuff. So preparation to go up to the match. And Thursday, we got up, went to the morning session. But it wasn't that hard, and just getting loosened up, picking out a few balls, practicing set pieces, then back in the hotel, and get ready in the second match.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a great experience, and something that's trying, because you're obviously then you're going to have more games. You win this series of matches in the Victory Shield. I mean, the actual game itself. I mean, unfortunately, you took a heavy tackle, and I think we're forced to come off at half time. But I mean, even just if you want to share with the boys how it felt to walk out, representing your country, how you found the game and the atmosphere.
Felt great. Just felt really proud. To walk out, sort of feels like you're about 6 foot tall. Just feel big, and then you're able to stand in, when your national anthem's playing, it's pretty good as well. But then when you go out, you're sort of nervous the first 5 minutes until you get in the game. And then you sort of settle down and you forget the cameras are on you and the crowd's there and all that other stuff, you just play.
Yeah.
So it gets easier as the game goes on.
Yeah. And before, the first couple of minutes, there was actually a couple of opportunities for Northern Ireland. It's one of those things that we say in games, that football, can be a cruel game because you can have those opportunities important, especially at that level. You've got to take them because I think there's one or two early chances, but unfortunately in the Scots then they took the opening goal, and he was actually a very talented player, if I remember. Number 11, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very, very good technical player. He was very quick, explosive. You know, I mean, the guy that the fullback had to mark him was going to be a busy night anyway.
That was actually Nathan, so it was Nathan Keller's.
Of course it was. Nathan was. So that'll be interesting. We have Nathan over in a couple of weeks to go and see what he felt about marking him. But he was quick. You know, a very good player. I think he was possibly the difference. You know, because he got 2 goals, didn't he?
Yeah, I got one and set one up. Or
yeah. So. And then take us through, obviously, then the disappointment. Then it was something that the heavy challenge. So you tried to play through the pain barrier, but at half time.
Yeah, Desi just. I come in and then Guy, physio, took a look at it, and then he says he doesn't think I'm young, he sort of moved up out, sore underneath it. So I said to Desi, I need to come off, and then Desi made a stop, just. And I had to go out and watch.
Yeah,
it was really good watching the challenge.
Yeah, it was frustrating. So how's the injury now then?
It's alright now, I'm training on and stuff, it's just still a bit sore if I can't twist it or anything.
Just trying to crack there, so did that. So when's the next game?
8th of November, it's England, away.
Away, and where's that being from there? In Bournemouth, very good. So so it's obviously the focus is for that now then, that's what the preparations are. As well, what's quite interesting is we've started doing this at an early age with these boys, is we're filming the games, we're doing match analysis for them, and the boys here have learned an awful lot about their games and added to their games through the match analysis. Is that something that you did at the international setup as well? Have you watched back the Scottish game then?
No, we haven't done that yet, but we usually do watch over our matches. Go through stuff that we do well and the stuff that we could do and we work on.
Yeah.
And we work on that again.
Yeah, great. And any other thing anything that's happens funny or something that's completely different or what? I mean, just to give you the full floor here, share with these boys.
It's been filmed. Our manager, Desi Curry, is walking along the touchline and didn't see a sprinkler hole, so he tripped and fell over it, and he went down in like slow motion. As we were making a stop, so we all saw him, and we were all like laughing at him on the pitch.
Very good. And so there's 19 years involved in this. What's sort of the what's it like then together? Like, is it like a real competitiveness, or is there a nice bond or supportive and stuff?
There's a bond, but I mean, everybody wants a place in the team, so everybody's trying to get your place all the time. You know, sort of makes where you put in not like 100% effort every training session, because always trying to go and show that they're better than the person that's starting over them. But yeah, we all get on really well, like off the pitch and stuff.
Oh, that's good. And finally, before I open up the floor, because I want the boys now to start thinking of maybe any questions they might have to ask you as well here, but have you had any experiences going to pro clubs across the water and tribe?
Yeah, been to Rangers. And Hull, I've been to Sheffield Wednesday.
And how did those experiences then? How do you feel at them?
I enjoyed them all. Enjoyed all the clubs I went to. I think Sheffield was probably the best one I went to, because I just found the setup and stuff is a lot more professional. Although Rangers was good as well, because Murray Park's really good training ground and stuff, and I thought they were set up very well.
Yeah. And I mean, it must be a great experience to put you in that professional environment, give you a taste of it. That it's something you love to go and take.
Yeah, it's just the way you get you get to train every day and stuff, and you just get a taste of what it would be like to be in the academy.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrific. And those days, did you get to play a game, or was it just training with them, or?
Both. For when I were Rangers, I trained 2 days, played 2 matches. Hull was trained, played 2 matches, and then Sheffield Wednesday was trained, played 1 match just.
And how did they go then? Did they go well?
Yeah, got good feedback from them all, and Hull and Sheffield said that you want to bring back over at a Canadian date, but we'll probably be till after Victory Shield, because Des isn't like us going away that much.
I was obviously focused all on the Victory Shield. So good, so it's been great again that we've had the pleasure of Matthew taking time out of his busy schedule to come over to share that. It speaks very well, there's a camera on here, and that's something said about Luke as well. I mean, it's great how they're developing. Questions, so hands up, who wants to put the first question in? Paul. What was the score in the matches?
For Rangers, we played a local team called Airdrie. We beat them 4-3. Played Motherwell, beat them 5-0. Hull beat Leeds 8-3 and drew 3 each with a local team. Sheffield Wednesday, we drew 2 each with Barnsley.
And you know, I know Hugo, I'm sure will be watching this. Hugo, that is obviously was the assistant academy director at Braga. Sheffield Wednesday is his team. He loves Sheffield Wednesday. He'll be laughing when he's watching this. He could name you the whole Sheffield Wednesday team from 1990, 1991, 92. Chrissy Warren, Chris Bart Williams, I think, was there as well. Neil probably even know these players as well. Yeah, I mean, this is a Portuguese guy that could watch Benfica. He worked for Benfica, coach of Benfica, Braga, Sporting, all these great clubs in Portugal. And Sheffield Wednesday was his team. You know, that's his ultimate dream. You know, when you're doing your long-term goals, his long-term goal is to manage Sheffield Wednesday. So yeah, that just came into my head when you started talking about Sheffield Wednesday's. Hugo loves the club. So okay, good question, right? Anybody else? Any questions? PK?
Would you be here without Tim?
Just giving out questions.
Probably not. I wouldn't have progressed as much and got better as a player without him.
Yeah, so PK, that question you'd be getting that 5-hour punch there. Yeah, I mean it's nice because I mean as I put up in the Facebook post, I mean as a coach, it's so rewarding. Now we played a small part, you know, with Matthew and with Nathan and with Luke, you know, but it was lovely to play that part, you know, like we're all here together. That I hope in 4 years' time we will see some people in this group that will progress and be involved with the Northern Ireland International setup and the Victory Shield. And it'll be brilliant because it'll be influences that you will have in your lives, you know, from your parents, obviously, to coaches and managers and everybody will play a part. You know, I mean, you know, you can be lucky and you can get some good coaches. That'll do an awful lot for you as well. So I played a small part. Obviously, you know, the guys at Lauren Youth that brought Matthew on and development played a huge part. Willie, that we know well, and Mark and at Dungoyne. Who else am I forgetting about there? Bobby, Mark, Craig. Yeah, I've all played a part as well. So good. Anybody else on the floor? So imagine this. So we all being well. Matthew's injury will be. He'll be back and selected, and his next game then could be against England at Bournemouth Stadium. Bournemouth, they've got a new ground, haven't they? It's a nice stadium. So, means huge to go and think that the next game he'll be representing his country against England, which is absolutely massive. And again, that'll be televised again on Sky. So huge, absolutely brilliant.
Sky
you know.
2 or Sky 1? Or Sky 2 or Sky 1?
Right.
Sky 4.
Sky Sports 1, Sky Sports 2, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, well here, let's put our hands together and show appreciation for Matthew giving his time. And as we say, you know, I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, I love to see people like this and, you know, come down and give up their time. And it's great to share experience with you guys because there's only 4 years of a difference. You know, and if you put the effort in, and that all you're doing because we're sort of seeing you 3, well, minimum 4. You play the game 4 times a week, and some of you 5 and 6 times. And I mean, what advice would you have for these guys? If there's maybe 3 things you can give them, what would it be?
Work hard, again.
Right, so we've got work hard and training. Got to put on the spot here for our training.
Try and stay focused. Not let girls distract you.
Do your homework.
So, and what about, have you faced any, this is a question, have you faced any disappointment?
Yeah, first 2 or 3 years trying to get in the final, didn't get in. Didn't even get past the first round. Losing to Scotland, disappointed about that. Yeah, that was frustrating.
So I mean, this is good because we've had what 6 years involved with County Down. We're pleased that Tim's involved playing a game this Sunday, but others have been involved. And I mean, they at the minute they say the door isn't closed. You know, for them, and that the county coach is going to keep on monitoring him. And this is, so Matthew then at the start couldn't get into the counties, right? But yet he's playing. He's in the under-16 who are learning the national settlement of Victory Shield. So that's a prime example for anybody that sort of thinks, he's down at the counties, I haven't got in. This is what you have to work for.
Would you beat Scotland if they didn't have their number 11?
If they didn't have their number 11, do you think you'd beat Scotland?
Who's number 11?
He was a talent. He's a very good player, exciting player.
I think we would have a better chance anyways.
Yeah.
That would have been
Is he better?
better than me.
What's 50 kick?
I kick myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's your strongest? Right. Not like this.
Oh, I thought it was the third thing.
Oh,
Working on your weaker foot.
working on the weekend food. So Matthew's 3 things: work hard, stay focused. Yeah, stay away from girls. Yeah, and work on your other food as well. Yeah. So there we are. Good. Well done. It's been boys. It's been really enjoyable tonight because it's great. He's developed. Said the same about Luke. It's great to see how they've developed into really sensible young men. Pretty much sensible, yeah. But that's great because you remember them from young growing up, and it's lovely to see how Matthew has developed into a mature young man. And Dean just all of a sudden has just thought of a question.
Any girls ever distracted you?
No.
Yeah, they're not here.
The biggest distraction he has is making sure his hair's sitting right, isn't it? In front of the Sky cameras. Yeah. So good. So it's great to see how well he's developed and matured into a great young man. I'm very proud of what he's done and where he is. He had a strong inner belief. When he's been given knockbacks, he's been strong. He's had commitment to go and show that he wants to be there and he won't give up. And that's one of the big things, and you've got to remember that Matthew's sharing with you as well. So, good. Big round of applause, and we'll go into the training park. Yep. Good. We're going to be working 1v1 to start off with, and then we're going to be progressing at 2v2, 3v3, and so on. Now, that works. Finley goes on the halfway line. Donal, go far side. You don't need to be right off the edge of the pitch. But what we want to see, if Donal starts about here, he has to check, always checks before receiving the ball from Finley, right? As he checks away, check, and Finley pings the ball into him, dribble into the middle of the pitch. I want you to do a wee skill against Finley, try and beat him, score and either the nets. Right, so we can go to either net. The ball goes out, then the next 2 go. Because obviously, the one thing I hate is big long lines, right? And there's going to be 7 this side, 7 that side. But after Finley plays that first ball in, and they come into the middle and they do the trick, I want them, I want the next 2 to go. And then the next 2 to go, and the next 2 to go. So it could be a case that we could have 6 years all on the pitch at once. But your focus is only on your ball and your partner. You understand? And you can score in the other net. So you can try and fool if Finley wins the ball, he then becomes the attacker and Donal has to try and win the ball back off him. You understand? Yeah, so give me 7 defenders with the footballs over this side. I want this moving quick so we're not having the big lines forming. Right? Check, 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 play. Next ones, get ready. Check, 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 ball, play. Yeah, next ones, get ready. Alright, let's play.
Yes, Joe.
Next ones, get ready. Right, play. Next 2, play. Next 2, play. Good turn, Blake. Next 2, play. Next 2, play. Right, keep it going. You don't need to listen to my call. Play, come on. Next 2, play. Speed. Come on, zip the ball in. Zip the ball in and see your teammates' first touch is like.
Speed. Come on, play. Next to go. Nosey check.
Yes! Yes!
Speed, Nosey.
It's on.
Well done. Next two. Go on, keep it moving nice and sharp. Next two, go. Come on, check. Come on, you don't need to whip my goal. Swing to your partner, make sure to check, and then sit the ball in. Ping the ball, First touch, come on. Great turn, Dave. Oh, real finish. Alright, come on. Both nets up here. You can see it put a line down the middle of the pitch. It's all about how we finish. If I'm this side, I finish with my right foot far corner. And on this side of the half. If I'm over here, I have to finish left foot far corner. Always have to finish across the keeper in the bottom corner. Left foot this side, right foot this side. If obviously we're going down this half, we're right foot here. If our other side's left foot. You understand? Okay? I'm putting in little boxes. I don't want the goalkeepers coming out any further than here. Right? You must score outside this box. The only reason and the only goal that's allowed inside the box is a wee flick, a wee scoop. Dean, you want to demonstrate? You come in this box, you can only score by going like that. Right, so if he's inside this box, 4, can you do that, Dean? That wee flick? Boom. Right, so let's see if we can do that one. Right, as soon as they go, next two go. Ping the ball in. Change direction, PK. Don't force it. Next two go. Well done. Speed. Always want to see skills. You just look inside the box, remember?
You're not nothing.
And this right here, if you close up, look back.
Tim, you have to get a phone. You're gonna take her down. Maybe you have to go straight.
Somebody change in goal for Joshua. Here's the finish. Effort, big. Well done, Deal. Speed. Come on, track the speed. Good, great turn, Lugard. Drive.
Hey, you can play your right partner.
Anybody finish with a little flick? You can see it.
Me?
Speed, come on. We're rolling that ball. I want to see you ping it. Great turn, Millsy. The 2v2. So when we're putting that ball in, it's still the same, but we split it. That was one in the other half. So we're going down straight. Paul takes the ball down there and Tim goes down there. Right? And give me Dylan and Owen is that there. Now, when it's 2v2, the setup is one in the other half of the way line. Yes, set one up the other side of the halfway. Right? Now, no, you need one ball to play. So, again we check, and Paul plays the ball to either Dylan or Owen. Right? Now you've got to combine. So can we look the switch? Because now what we want to try and do is can you get the other side of the half, or there'll be yellow cones. Good. Now move again, Dylan. Move again. Right, can you do 1, 2? Right, play off him. Set him. Right, finish. Okay, good. So, you get the idea? So it's going to be 2v2, but what we always have to do is set up, first of all, either side of the halfway line. When the ball's played in, and it's attack v defence, I want to see, can we split the end that we have Sonny playing on the right, Sonny playing on the left, but I want to see interlinking the other side, you understand? Yeah? So, deal back in nets, but don't open those nets. Now we try to split each other off, yeah? Good, great pass, Dave. Good finish. Okay, we can go another goal, well done. Alright, next step, go. Next step, go. Where's the guy? Can we change direction? That's it. Well done. Play it. Finish. Next 2, go.
Are you going to shoot in the box?
No need for me flip.
Yes, shoot.
What happens when you've got 2v2 in, then another group of 2v2 in, then another group of 2v2? That's what? Huh? It's chaos, right? It just gets messy, yeah? And it's perfect, because we want to see it's 2v2, but it could be then another 2v2 somewhere else at the pitch, and all of a sudden we need to get our head up and see where our partner is. Right? All about observation, checking our shoulder. Our movement has got to be good on and off the ball. Right, check, check, check. Because there's no big cues forming. And again, we're getting the chaos in the middle, which is perfect, because you always have this in your league. So we want 1v1, but then progress to 2v2. What are we going to do next? 3v3. What shape should we be looking for? Triangle. Yeah? So, again, I'm not going to turn around and say, yeah, the Reds have to shoot this way, the Blues have to go that way. You can go any goal, because it keeps on changing direction to play, right? But what I want to do is, rather than have 3 stand here in the straight line and 3 stand over there, I want to get a little shape before we start. So, we want the triangle shape to start off with, yeah? So we always want to see, Owen, you the one up. The target man, he comes and does that movement to check, to receive. We want to see the ball pinged at speed. And then Owen, I want to see you play nice and quick short of either Finlay or Josh. Okay? So nice and quick, just check, check, check. We ping the ball, so we've got the triangle shape. Right, ready? Shoot, shoot, shoot. Check, check, check. Play.
I said nothing.
Yeah, good. Finish.